sorry about that. I'm sorry. So basically, the game plan today is whenever I say Lclc, we are going to be clicking the button, and it's gonna be pretty painful because I have to say it 10,000 times. And Lclc just hit 450k subs. So, something I wanted to do. We hit 20k. Lclc hit 450,000. So, I think it'll be a fun video. Let me find one. Let's see if we can find one that's darker. Because, yeah. This one good? Okay, that's way too bright. Hold up. Hi. No, that's not what I want. I guess I'm just gonna click down her, maybe? Okay, so. Are you guys ready? So I said Lclc there. But anyway. Are you ready? Lclc, 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 Lclc. Oh, this is gonna get old real quick. Lclc, 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 Lclc. Oh no. Lclc, 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 Lclc. Pain. Lclc, 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 LC as LCLC, LCLC, LCLC. Why did my music stop? I want my music stop. I need music to get through this day. LCLC, 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 LCLC. Yes, LCLC. LCLC, 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 LCLC. Oh Lord. You guys ready for a long stream? LCLC, 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 LCLC. Oh, I didn't click it. LCLC, LCLC, LC. LC, LCLC, LCLC, LC, LC, LCLC, 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 L, LCLC, 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 LCLC. Oh, this is gonna get bad. LCLC. LCLC, 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 also LCLC. That's not what I was going for. LCLC, 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 LC, LC. LCLC, 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 LCLC. We're only 80 in. LCLC, 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 LC, 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 LC. We're 100 in, boys. Okay, if 100 takes... Oh, Lord, it's gonna take me 10 hours. We gotta kick it in that. It's okay, we can do it for the boys and girls. First 100, yep. LC, 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 S, LC, LC, oh no, not already, LC, 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 pain, LC, 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 LC. Don't ask, Babby, don't ask. LC, 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 LC. Wait, what? What did I say there? LC, 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 LC. If somebody donates more, yeah, I'll do. That's a little high. I don't really get the point of it either. I'm just kind of bored. Yo, what's up? LCLC, 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 LC, 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 LC. I didn't even... What? Okay. LCLC, LCLC. I don't even think I can hit. I don't even think LC will come here. LCLC, LCLC. Hey. I said, I'm trying to say LC. LC. Stop it. A bit of a mix of both. Lockdown, lefty. Okay. LC, 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 LC. I'm counting. If you stop before 10K, I'll text you. Okay. LC, 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 LC. No, that's LC. 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 There we go. I know it sounds like Elsa. No, it doesn't sound like Elsa. No. LC, LC. 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 No, that's LC. 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 LC, 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 S, what? LC, 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 L, L, E, C, what? I gotta redo that one. LC, 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 LC. Okay, I'm sorry. LC, LC. If I go Godspeed, you're gonna say, oh my god, stop saying Elsa or Elsie or some other crap. LC, 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 Elsa, LC, 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 C, LC, 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 LC. Okay, Sunflower, I got you. We get 200 boys. Okay, I'll redo 5 of them since you're saying I said Elsa. LC, 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 LC. There you go. There you go. Ready? I'm sure I have determination. Boys, listen up. I listened to Pepe the Frog say read for 10 hours straight for a video one time just to realize the audio didn't record and I just looked like an idiot sitting in front of a camera. Okay, you guys ready? LCLC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. That sounds weird. LC, 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 LC. LC. Stop. Adam, stop. LC. Sunflower, I will succeed. I'll prove you wrong. And then when I do, I'm going to take a picture and I will send it to you. LC, LC. Hey, it does kind of sound like that, but I'm saying LC, 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 LC. I'm not taking sleep. What? Talking. Bro, no. LC, 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 L. Oh, I forgot to put it there. LC, 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 LC. 250 and okay, we can do this. 250 takes me 16 minutes. Let's go. LC, 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 LC. I'm not gonna stalk it. You guys got me messed up here. I'm not gonna talk about sleep. LC, 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 LC. No, I'm gonna go for 10,000 atoms. I'm determined. LC, 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 LC. Oh Lord. LC, 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 LC. Okay, there you go. We're at 300. Hey, Matt. I'm getting brain damage by the minute. What's up? Sorry guys, my brother. I'm not taking a break every 100. That's gonna take way too long. Ah! LC. Oh, I didn't even click it. LC, 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 LC. Oh, okay, that's fast. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 Ace. I'm not saying sleep, I'm saying LC, LC. That's one time. LC, 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 LC. What? LC, 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 LC. 333. Let's go. What's nice? LC, 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 LC. That, I don't know if that's possible. LC, 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 LC. I'm staying until you actually do it. Okay, lockdown lefty. We got this. Oh no. Okay, we're good. LC, 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 LC. I'm not saying sleep. LC, 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 all L3, oh not L3, what the heck? LC, LC, L3, LC, 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 I put that twice. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. I don't know why I said LC. LC, 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 LC. No, don't. I would do it if. No, that's too easy. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. See ya, Vera. LC, 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 LC. Whew! 400 in. This hat is squeezing my brain. I don't know if that made sense or not. Goodbye, Pro. So, in 23 minutes, we're going to do some math real quick. Big brain math, okay? If 23 minutes takes us... If we... What? Okay, if it takes us 23... Where my daggum calculator? There. Nope, that's a calendar. Calculator. So, 23 minutes, right? Wait, what am I doing here? 400... You know what, screw it. We'll figure it out eventually. So in like an hour, we can do 1.2k. It's gonna take me like 8 hours. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. If you somehow die by saying LC 10,000 times, it's... 17 LCs a minute. Don't. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. He is? No way. That's the real one? If it's the real one, hello. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, LC. LC, LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. Lclc, 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 Lclc. Why did my music stop? I don't like. Whoa! What the heck? No, 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 no. Lclc, 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 Lclc. LCLC, 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 LCLC. There we go. We hit 500. $500. We can do this. It's only 9.5k to go. LCLC, 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 LCLC. Oh, Lord. Okay. LCLC, LCLC. LC, 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 LC. LCLC, 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 LCLC. LCLC, 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 LCLC. LCLC, LCLC. LCLC, 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 LC, LC, LCLC, LCLC. LCLC, 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 LCLC. It exit out. Please save. For the love of my sanity, please save. If not, I'm gonna have to redo it. It exited out. No. Okay. Please save. If not, I'm just gonna have to redo it. Web activity. Okay. Manage. I swear. No! It's okay, it's fine. Son of a... Restarting it. Lclc Lc 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 Lc. Guys, I have a question. Am I allowed to go to where I was? Because my sanity cannot take it. I was at 500. I was at 531. Okay, so we're just gonna... I'm going with I can, because I'm not going through all that mental pain. We're almost there. I was at 530. Lclc 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 Lclc. That would suck if I had to do that at 10K. Lclc Lclc Lc 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 LC. Oh, that was scary. LC 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 LCLC LC 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 what? LC 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 LC. I need more juice. Yes. I could have, but that's the easy way out. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 hey Frosted, LC, 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 hey Zach, hey, LC, 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 hello, what, hello? LC, 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 LC. 666. Oh no. 666. Okay. You guys ready? LC, 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 LC. What? Thank you, sir. LC, 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 LC. Peanut's my sister. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. Ah. Nah. Okay, you guys ready? LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. Well, they're making fun of me. Well, it doesn't matter. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 Lc. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. 750. Hello. Oh, verified person. Wow. Hello. I'm sorry. That's what I made you mad. Hello. It's not fake, I promise. I'll put it on my hat just to prove it's not fake. Look, you ready? I can't reach it. There we go. LC, 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 LC. Chloe. Hi, Chloe. LC, 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 LC. Stop trying to stack this silly. What are you? My sister just came up here. LC, 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 LC. Chloe, you missed it. A verified YouTuber is in here. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. Yeah, he has 114,000. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. Why not? Because I want to. LC, 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 LC. I'm 13. LC, 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 LC. 800 N. LC, 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 LC. Can you bring me another juice, Chloe? I'm running out of juice. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. Say two more again. LC, 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 LC. L, C, L, C, L, C. No, I said LC. Hey. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. Lclc, 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 Lclc. Oh, that's annoying. Lclc. Frosty, are you one of the people who are allegedly making fun of my face? If so, I don't really care. Lclc. I'm gonna turn on streamer mode. Lclc. Not even close. Lclc. LC hats to my door. Nice. LC. Thank you, Chloe. LC. 10K. Yeah, no, I'm not out of my mind. I just wanted a challenge. LC.
Did you say somebody else's name 10,000 times besides Lclc?
Huh?
I think you said somebody else's name 10,000 times.
I mean, I tried, but our power went out halfway through the stream. But that was on my old channel.
What did you say your name?
I said something fun. LC. Thank you. Stream. CA Roblox. Thank you. LC. What is it called? LC.
What would you do if Mr. Beast and the little Lclc joined and they both give you $100,000?
I'd reset the counter and count to 100,000.
And then also, join your group and subscribe. Not your group, your member.
Maybe.
That would probably be a good day order.
Oh, son of a... Please save. Oh, not a... Ah!
Why don't you just write it down?
I'm not gonna write LCLC 10,000 times. I'm just gonna go to 9:30.
Oh yeah, I put the people in timeout for work, saying, "No, you should do 100,000. Why are you doing 10,000? No, you can't go back to what you were." I didn't like that, so I just put them in timeout.
Thank you, Chloe.
Alright, I have an idea. Pretend that you're in a race, and then you'll get there faster.
It reset again.
Sticker right here.
Well, not reset. I accidentally hit the wrong button.
Pretend that sticker is trying to race you.
I was made it to 9:30. I won't go past 9:30. It is just sad.
Are you high red? No,
So they know it's not fake.
I'm gonna have to go get what I need.
What do you need?
Something
What do you need?
that cover
Imagine it resets at 9,000. I think I'd cry. Because I'd have to click the spacebar 9,000 more times.
You probably already clicked it 2,000 times.
Oh yeah, more than that.
How many times did it reset?
Once at 500 and then once at 930. So,
Twice?
yeah.
I got hit by a bug.
Haha, if Mr. Beast ever came to my stream, I consider that a win.
If Mr. Beast came to your stream, I'd be freaking out. It's like impossible.
Oh, I made it one past it. Okay, LC.
It's almost impossible to get.
LC. There you go. LC. I need more juice.
But the thing is, I just bought you this.
What?
Elsa?
Stop. Ah!
But as part of LCLCs, do it in one of your most serious voices that won't get copyrighted.
What?
For this round of saying LCLC, do it in one of your most serious voices, but one that won't get copyrighted.
I don't know if I can do that.
It wouldn't
Okay, we got 10. We got 9K to go. Ah.
1,000? I looked up and I saw all the numbers.
LC. Hey yo. What curse words are you talking about? LC. It's not funny. It's pain. LC. Pain. LC, 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 LC. Thank you, Fire. I know it's crazy not to have you moderator. LC, 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 LC. Oh, I wasn't even clicking it. LC, 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 LC. Okay. What the? There we go. We gotta switch up the music. This one's getting boring. Copyright free music. We need this. Yes. Pause you. Hold on. I'm getting better music. Well, not necessarily better, just one that's
Different.
different. Yeah. There you go. This one will work. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. Yes, I will today. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. I will. LC, 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 LC.
Are you gonna do a normal stream today?
Yep. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, LC, LC. What? LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. I'm dead. LC, 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 LC. Ah. It's just pain, you know?
No, I don't know.
Chloe, I've said LCLC 1101 times. You know?
So, that's how many times I watch his videos.
No, I guarantee you probably watched it 70 times at most. I've said LCLC 1102 times. LCLC, LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 1111. LC, 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 I'm a dude. LC, 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 LC. My tongue's getting tied. LC, 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 F, F. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 what? LC, 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 LC. This hat's itchy. Well, speak for a week or two. Well, you're probably right. Why'd the music stop? No, 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 no. Where'd my music go? There we go. I'm not even doing anything. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. What did he, what? LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. Ow, bit my tongue. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. I'll probably see you in the morning, Focus. Thank you for the luck. LC, 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 LC. LC, LC, M, LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, LC. It probably is. If there's something behind me. I know you can't see my eyebrows. You don't have to point it out. I'm blonde. I know. See? I'm very blonde. Especially in the eyebrows. They're there. It's just hard to see. If there's something behind me. Well, bring me some tacos. I want tacos. Again. Where'd my phone go? Oh, there it is. Sorry. Oh, free cookie. I want a cookie. Sorry. Hold up, I'm looking at Subway app. I want cookies. Look behind me, Rampage. I can see in the webcam on my other monitor. LC, 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 LC. Sure, I'll take the Doritos. LC, 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 LC. Ooh, Subway. LC, 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 LC. Ah! Oh, shut up, dog. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 what? LC, LC. Ooh, cookie. Look at this offer on look at the offer. Free cookie. I like cookies. I want a cookie. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. Dead. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, LC. Lc, 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 Lc. Lc, 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 Lc. What are you doing, Chloe? Lc, 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 Lc. LC, 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 L, what? LC, 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 S, LC, LC, LC. LC, 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 1300! Yes! Chloe, what are you doing? Come here. My back's locked. Hold up. Let me move my webcam for a split second. What are you doing, Chloe? Chloe. What are you doing, princess? Why are you on the ground, Chloe? Are you okay? Okay, she's awake. I thought she was passed out on my floor. Chloe? I will need you to get up, please. You're in the way of my chair. I can't reach my keyboard. Hey. Are you okay, Chloe? Chloe? Princess Peanut. Oh. No, don't. Are you okay? You're just like. Oh. Are you okay, Chloe? What are you doing?
I'm okay.
Chloe. What are you doing, though? Sport thingy.
Well,
I said you're.
showed my face.
I did not. My webcam's angled off. What are you doing, little person? Now you, this guy, go over there.
No, help!
Chloe, why are you saying help? I'm not even doing anything.
No.
I'm giving you a hug.
Hand.
Hand.
Yeah, you just showed my face. You know that, right?
Don't matter.
Yes, it does. Mommy doesn't want my face on here.
Mom, they can't see your face.
Yes, they did.
Okay, then go that way. Don't get that on my... Okay, good. You're not laying down on my floor. Chloe! Chloe. Stop.
No.
Give me 1 second, guys. What just happened? Chloe, you can't go to bed. It's 2 o'clock.
See, let me see this. I'm taking my sleeping.
Else, what?
So I can't sleep on the floor.
Chloe, I'm gonna need you to take a chill pill. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. No. No. Don't go on the floor. Don't go on my door either. No, you can't.
Stop!
Why are you trying to sleep on the wall?
You said I couldn't sleep on the floor.
Why would you sleep on the floor? You have a bed.
The bed is in the other room, and my legs hurt. So, therefore, I was trying to relax my legs. Fixing days.
I'll help you.
No. I'll just
I have to help my sister. Give me a sec. Well, I had to help my sister because she wouldn't get off my floor. And every time I tried to help, she just went kaput. And she collapsed, so I had to help.
there was nothing wrong.
Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Again, Chloe, hold on, guys. I'm gonna. Okay. Come on. Yes, it's off. The webcam's off. Mrs. Peanuts. It's off. They can't see. They're...
Hey, stop! No! No!
Chloe, what are you doing?
Stop!
Stop saying no. They're thinking I'm hurting you. Why would I do that? You were so dramatic with everything. You're thinking I'm hurting her.
Your braces almost cut me.
I didn't even touch you with my blanket, you donut. Don't slam my door. Where's my bride? Where are you? She punched me in the mouth. Push me in the mouth, dang. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Hello. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, Elsie. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, LC, 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 LC. We hit 1400. Let's go. Juice. My sister punched me in the lip. It hurts. Oh my God, no. 8,600 to go, boys. Supreme, if you don't need $100, I'll reset it. No, I'm not gonna go first. I promise on my YouTube channel, if you donate, I will reset. If you donate $100, I'm not going first. I'm not falling for that. No. You wait till 9K. If you actually donate, I'll reset it, okay? $100. LCLC. LC, 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 LC. I'm not gay, you donut. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC. Yeah, no, it's not healthy, and yes, I regret it, but LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. No. 100's good. I'll reset for 100 anytime, anywhere. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. I want toast. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, LC, LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. Brain damage. Cheers. Here we go. I'm gonna make toast. I want toast. I want food. Will you guys be mad if I make toast? I want toast. You know, screw it. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC 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 dead. LC 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 what? LC 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 why? LC 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 Yep, I'm here. LC 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 L what LC 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 1600. Let's go. Warm toast. It's a sandwich. I said LC LC, not sleep. LC LC. No, I'm not saying sleep. I'm saying LC LC. This is gonna be a good stream. I can already feel it. Yeah. My dad doesn't even know why I'm doing this. Alrighty, we'll try my best to do this for you guys. Can I take a break and make a sandwich? I want some toast or something. I haven't eaten yet today. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. I'll be right back. I'm going to make a sandwich. I'll be right back. Wait, what? Do what you want. I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, change of plans. My mom made buffalo chicken dip. So, thank you. Buffalo chicken dip. LC. Woo. Kind of kick to it. LC. Very good. LC. Woo. LC. Is anyone here? LC. Goodness gracious. What? Ah! Okay. 1,700 boys. Every 100, I'm gonna take a bite of my chicken dip. So, cheers. See, buffalo chicken dip. It has like 3 different hot sauces in it, and cream cheese and chicken. Well, that's obvious, but I'm gonna go on mute while I eat it because I don't want to crunch in your ear. I'm back. Elsie, ow, I bit my tongue. Elsie. Woo! LCLC. What? LCLC. What? LC. Yeah, it's gonna take a bit. What? LC. What What? LC. 1800. I gotta take a bite of my chicken. I know it sounds like I'm saying LC. I'm trying to say LCLC. Not like LCLC. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. LCLC. I'm gonna have to go on mute while I eat my chicken dip. It's because it's crunchy. Kiss that. Chip. 1 second. The thing that chip got caught in the back of my throat. Ow. Okay, back to it. LC. One more chip. LC. Oh, sorry. LC. Okay. LC 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 what? LC 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 I do care. LC 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 finally get to have another chip. I'm eating my buffalo chicken dip slow. I normally have already eaten it all by now. Not ready. What? I said Lclc. Hey, what's up, bro? No, I'm not restart. What the heck? Guys? Help. My thingy. I broke it. I guess I gotta hold it here. LC. Oh, no, I gotta try and fix it. I'm not gonna do that for 10 hours. No. There we go. Okay, that's good. LCLC. 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 Stupid mic. I'm not a noob. You can shut up, please, kindly. LCLC. 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 Ah. LCLC. 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 No, you're a noob. LCLC. 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 Why did my music stop? We're moving back to this one. LCLC, 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 LCLC. LCLC, 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 LCLC. LCLC, 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 LCLC. I don't even know what I'm saying. LCLC, 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 LCLC. LCLC, 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 what? LCLC, 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 LCLC. Ah! LCLC, LCLC, LC, LC, LCLC. Also, maybe. Sure. Lclc, 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 Lc. LC, 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 LC. Yes! 20% done. Yes! I did not say sleep! I said LC, LC. Did you hear me say P? Sleep. I said LC, 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 LC. Brain damage. I said that like 5 times there, so. There you go. I stay healthy. I need some chicken dip. Hold up. Ah, it's a good dip. Buffalo chicken dip. Ah! I had to click it 2,000 times now. I need some chicken dip. I gotta click it so many times. $10 million is 10 million LCLCs. I think I'd die. Because 10 would be 10, a million would be 10 days. I couldn't say 100 for LCLC a million times. I could have said it 10 million times. Should I be? I'm at 20K right now. What? No. Yo, what's up, Gaming Prism? It reset when I hit 2,000. I clicked wrong. I know it's going up pretty fast because I hit the reset button by accident when I hit 2,000. So I'm just going back to 2,000, but it doesn't let you manually type in a number, I don't think. Okay, see? I clicked it like 4,000 times today. I just gotta get back up to 2,000 because it reset. Yeah, I would definitely reset if somebody donated $100. I would reset. I can't believe I got to 2,000 and then it shut down on me. Ooh, chip. Oh, it fell. You told me when I hit 999. I'll click too fast and then I'll end the stream. Y'all wouldn't be able to make it. I would say it too fast. Sorry for chewing. I'm just not muting the mic because I'm focused over here. Obscured. I made it to 2,000 and I actually hit the reset button. So I'm just typing back to 2,000. Ah. Bro. I'm gonna get carpal tunnel probably. I clicked this thing 5,000 times today. Cool. We just gotta get back to 2,000 and I'm gonna say I'll see again. We're back. I need juice. I don't know if I could do that. My mental... No, the stream didn't crash. I'm out of juice. I drink this one, that one, this one, that one. Why'd they have to come in such tiny bottles? See? These are not all from today, but why are they in 10-ounce bottles? That's like... There's cops here now? Well, screw it. LC, 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 L what? LC, 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 L what? Whoa. LC, 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 what? LC, 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 L, what? LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. I want a chip. That's my dip. I got buffalo chicken dip. Chicken dip, guys. There's definitely buffalo in it. LC, oh, I clicked way too many times there. LC, 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 LC. Okay, we got back up. LC, 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 LC. I didn't spell anything wrong. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. LC, LC. I want another one of these. I'm gonna go on mute. There's somebody at my house. I gotta go see who's at my house. Give me like a minute. Watch my chicken dip. Make sure my brother doesn't steal it. Okay, y'all. Guess who's back? Back again. Team C's, yes. We need to let some sunlight in here. Okay, maybe that's a little bit too much. LC, what? LC. Ooh, 21. What? LC. This daggum thing is bothering me. Ah, there we go. LC. Oh, I clicked that way many times. LC. Okay, LC. I get to eat a chip now. I got buffalo chicken dip here. It's really good. Ah. Oh, this water's cold. That's really weird. Oh. It's such a weird sensation. My mouth is both hot and cold at the same time. Okay, it's great. LC. LC 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 LC. Get to eat another chip. Buffalo chicken. The chips that I have, they're Fritos. But the thing I'm eating them with is buffalo chicken dip. Can't really hold it up because it'll fall, but I think I'm angle. There you go. I have chicken dip. Has like 3-4 different types of hot sauces. Very good. I'm gonna. There it is. Put that down there. Okay. Ah, you guys ready? Lclc 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 LC 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 ah LC 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 what? LC 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 over what LC 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 LC. Woo! Donation? What do you mean? I need another chip. Oh no. I think I can get it set up real quick though. I can add it real quick. What is it? Okay, there you go. Try it. Something. I don't know what, but I have it now. LC what? LC. Okay, we're good. LC. Oh, that was scary. LC. Yo, what's up, Brandon? S what? LC. Stop, I'm trying to say LC. What did I just say? LC. 2400. Let's go. I'm not saying Elsie. I'm saying Elsie. LC. I'm not saying Elsie. I'm saying Elsie. Difference. No. That was a fly on my screen. That's just a. LC. I get to eat another chip now with buffalo chicken dip. Okay, back to Lclc. Lclc. Oh, who's got a kick this time? Never mind. Hold on. Okay, we're good. Lclc. What? Ah. LC. I clicked that way too many times. LC. Okay. What? 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 I could do it! Elsie. Chip. Dad, I have not lost my mind, okay? I've not lost my mind, Dad. Chip. Okay, ready to just talk more? Oh no. Dad made, mom made, I can't even talk now. Mom made buffalo chicken dip. Okay. It's not like normal. It's really good this time. It's always good, but it's better this time. LC. Hi, K-Money. LC. Ah! LC. What? Whoa. LC. How am I gonna? Ah, oh. LC. What? Elsie, 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 Elsie. Okay, if I'm saying this, so I'm just gonna. There you go. I took 5. Maybe next time, Sunflower. Maybe. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Yep, I'm still at it. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, 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 Elsie. What? Whoa. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, Elsie, Elsie. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, 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 Elsie. What? Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, 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 Elsie. What? Elsie, 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 Elsie. Oh, yes, 2600. I gotta eat a chip now. I'll be right back. Okay, y'all. I'm back. Okay, so I decided those chips that I was eating before weren't spicy enough, right? So, I got jalapeno chips. I think it's jalapeno. Let me read. Yep, jalapeno. Because I like spicy food. Hey, all iPhone. Later, I challenge you to a game of, Bed Wars with me and my, friend as a team. Okay? Buffalo chicken dip with jalapeno chips. Very good. I'm having one more chip because it's really good. Don't know why I'm shaky. I think me and my friend can beat you, though. I'm not crazy, Dad. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, 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 what? Elsie, 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 what, hold on, rewind. Supreme Banana, I need your help. Yeah, Supreme Banana's my friend. Can you help me in a Bed Wars match against iPhone? I'll explain to you the details. Just DM me on Discord. DM me on Discord. I need to explain to you all the details. I need you to DM me. Okay, you guys ready? Am I allowed to take a Bed Wars match break? I mean, a break? iPhone.
Yo,
Yo, Supreme, what's up?
bro, this kid is very strange.
Okay. So, I'm gonna set up the Bed Wars match real quick, yo. Do you think we need Sano? Or do are you good?
You're real bugging in Discord, by the way.
Yeah, that's not really me being buggy. I'm just talking weird because I've been saying this Lclc 2600 is 18 times.
No, it is your mic.
It is?
Yeah.
Let me redo it. Why am I talking that way? Okay.
Reload up Roblox.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's a little bit better.
Here, I'll rejoin call to make it 100%. Is that better? Hello?
Yeah, that's better. Much better.
Okay. So, do you think we need Sanu, or, can me and you, well, I wouldn't really do that much, but can me and you wipe them out?
I can slowly people very easily.
I know, but I want to be a part of it too.
No, I just need to get see how good he is, then I can just go from there.
Let me ask him how many wins he's got. Holy crap.
What?
He's got 2,600 wins.
On my alt account I have over 3,000, so we could Gucci. And someone with loads of wins can also be bad at the game. They could just get carried.
I don't really play it. I think I have like 2 wins, so.
I have 300 on my main account.
I'm making a custom match, boys.
If I can get a handle for his strength or his skill, just go from there.
Should it be squads? Oh, I made it to
Whatever you
2v2.
want.
Is that
Yeah,
okay?
fine. Yep.
Excuse me. Okay, the code is... I'll send you a picture so everyone on stream doesn't join. I don't know why I'm eating so much, food that has a high temperature. I don't know why I said it like that either. I'm eating jalapeno chips with buffalo chicken dip. I'm gonna let you guys... I'm gonna let you guys, duke it out. Okay, okay, so, iPhone, you join green team because you're green. Supreme, me and you should join, yellow.
Yellow, because I'm yellow.
Yeah. Me and you are on yellow.
Why is he using Elder Tree?
That's me. That's me.
Oh, that's you, alright.
Remember, we bought it last time.
Wait, truck? Okay, that's not the real truck. Good. Do you know what's sad?
Who's truck?
Oh, he's a YouTuber with like maybe 40k subs.
iPhone has 1.2.
I have more subs. The sad thing is, Truck's actually my friend. My first 1v1 was against Truck and I lost.
Ooh, a chest. Oh, there's nothing in there.
Yeah, we can store some things in there. Oh, why am I lagging? Oh, that's probably why. Max graphics.
I'm not gonna really attack anyone. I'm just gonna become a huge thing.
Yeah, just do that.
I'm not gonna attack anyone.
Might as well take things bed.
I just want to become huge. Oh, hello. Don't
He's
kill.
already here.
He's killing me. He's killing me.
That's fine. Nah, he can't kill me.
Did I mention that he uses exploits sometimes?
Exploits? What are the exploits going to get him in this? Oh, do you want to play here?
Jesus, that was all. Should I buy?
He's probably going to buy armor now.
iPhone.
Do you collect anything from that gen?
There's gems.
The generator that you're at?
Yeah, like 12 iron.
Fine, just calm.
I'm just trying to collect orbs, you know. Oh yeah, he has armor.
What armor?
Brown.
So level.
Yeah. Oh shoot. I'm not really a good teammate here. So I'm just gonna explore.
Let's duke it out, yeah? What color is he?
He's green. What? He's blue. Oh. Oh no.
Pushing me?
Please don't die. I kinda need you to help me win. Ooh. I'm already huge. Num num num.
What the fuck? That bruh. How? 4 blocks away?
I'm just gonna jump off.
He's either got speed or reach.
An exploit? I think. What the heck? How did he do that? Where is he?
He's over at his bed.
He keeps pulling me back. How's that
I
possible?
think you're lagging.
Probably.
Yeah, you're lagging on my screen. Bro, I know how to play this game. That's if you're in third person, you can't get more reach.
So what I need to do while he's stuck is become an absolute tank, right?
Oh yeah, he is stuck.
I just need to become an absolute tank. And buy the best sword possible. And then kill him.
Hey, no. If you can buy a bow, you can bow him off.
He died! He fell! I win. You won. See, iPhone, we're just superior. Okay, now it's time to leave. Back to Lclc.
That wasn't exactly a win.
We didn't lose.
Yeah, but we didn't really win either. He got stuck.
Fine.
I'll make the game this time because I know what map I like.
iPhone, I outlasted you, so shush. I didn't fall off the map.
Wait, he outlasted me. Or
But
were you talking to him?
Yeah, he said we didn't really win because I just stood around and did nothing. I outlasted him. I didn't fall off.
I just use that code instead of him. I don't know his Discord or whatever.
So it's one. Wait, wrong code, iPhone, hold up. Wait for me, banana.
Fuck is this playlist?
No, I'm not gonna just spectate. No, I wanna become a giant. I'm not gonna just spectate. Then I wanna be playing.
Give me a second before you start.
What team, yellow?
Who's this guy? Who's this kid?
I guess he's just gonna spectate.
How did he join?
I don't know. I won't kill him. I never even attacked anything. Guess he's just a spectator. See, no weapons. I just want to become a giant man person. He's on his way. Don't kill me, iPhone, unless it comes down to it. Which I think Supreme will absolutely wipe you. Ah. Ooh, a soul. Hey, what do these blocks do?
You break them for special things.
I got a wand. Do you want it?
Yeah, come here, come here, come here, come here.
How do I drop stuff?
Come here.
I fell.
Oh, never mind then.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
At least I got 114 health now. Here, I only need blocks. How do I drop stuff?
Don't worry.
Okay. Ooh, a soul. Where'd it go?
Yeah, his soul is very tasty.
I'm going to find some candy things. No kill, no kill. Truce, truce. No, don't hit me. Try to be nice. I don't kill you, I kill me.
I mean,
I mean...
it's not my issue, you're bad at the game.
Oh, I'm glad I got you here. You're the best Bed Wars player I know. Boys, I got 166 health. Okay, Adams, I don't know how you play. What's up, Adams? We need some souls.
You're hiding, bro.
I don't know, but all I know is I got a cannon by accident. Do you want a cannon?
No.
Okay. I got 210 health. What's up,
You're
pro?
not very good at this game, is he?
I'm bad at everything. I'm just a tank. Can't always blowing stuff up. There's no can. Oh, there's one. Oh, there's one. I gotta leave before he kills me. I just wanted the candy thing. Hey, yo, Supreme.
Yeah?
I got 249 health. I'm a tank. Thing.
Nice.
What's the highest amount of health have you seen somebody get?
I don't know.
iPhone's at his base. Just to let you know.
He's going to our Diamond Island.
Oh, the lag is real. Okay. Are we...
Run away.
I'm just trying to find some more of the soul thingies. There's one. I'll be a human shield. I mean, tree shield. Groot has nothing on me. Jeez, you got diamond armor? Oh, I thought you got there.
Don't worry, I'm a god. I ain't dying like that.
Okay, I'm sorry, sir. I'm about to hit 300 health, boys. Ooh, nice. I have 301 health, Supreme. He's got balloons. Ooh, what are these purple things?
Special lucky blocks.
Okay, you can have them. I just want that thing by it. Oh, snap. I'm really good at collecting this stuff. I mean, not really good. Ooh, there's one. You take fall damage in this game?
Yeah.
Hola. I like how you have 8 kills and he has 2. It's pretty nice. Parkour. Yay, you did it. Okay, back to Lclc torture. Let's go.
Right, he called me a speed hacker. It's so sad.
I can, I just wanted to take a break. Hold on.
Well, that was easy.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, thanks. Lclc. Supreme, were you joking about donating?
No, I wasn't actually joking. Speed
Yeah.
hack.
He doesn't speed hack, trust me.
He won the first round, bro. He literally died.
Bro, I outlasted you the first round.
Bro, I think it clearly said Team Yellow won or Team Yellow wins.
I outlasted you.
People confuse me these days. Bro, you ain't gonna beat me. You're bad at the game.
Adam says, "Shut up and accept your fate." Holy. Lclc. I was playing. I was collecting orbs. I outlasted you.
Actually, it was a 1v2, so technically he was playing.
I was playing, my friend.
If he wasn't playing, why was he in the game?
I was preparing for it. I was becoming a tank, okay? I had almost 400 health. Just in case Supreme died, I have 0. I think I have 1 out of 10.
If he wants ain't fair, just get good, bro. Right.
Brother, I didn't even see you.
I 1v1'd you and I won. I 1v1'd you and I won.
I was just in the background preparing to become a tank.
I literally 1v1'd him. He had a Rage Blade, the best sword in the game, and he lost.
I mean, we can do one more match, but after that, I gotta get back to my hell
Look,
loop.
Rampage, you don't understand. He had the most broken sword in the game,
No,
and he still lost. He still lost.
I didn't even do anything to you, iPhone, that round. I literally just stood there, becoming a tank.
If he can like five hit me with diamond armor. Yes, but bro, you had a broken sword. You literally five hit me. I like maybe 8 hit you. So it's not my fault. You're just bad at PvP.
I love this. You want a jalapeno chip, guys? Here you go.
Where's mine? I'm hungry.
Okay. Here you go.
Thank you. I
No
appreciate
problem.
it.
No problem. No problem. Do you guys like chicken?
Raw chicken.
Chicken's pretty good.
Bruh, the other day I was so hungry I ordered a family meal from KFC, and I ate the entire thing myself.
Nice.
It was very nice. Oh, KFC barbecue sauce is peng.
Nice. I always get popcorn chicken from KFC.
Oh yeah, popcorn chicken. I got fries, boneless chicken, and popcorn chicken, and 2 tubs of gravy.
I'd get this. I get a large high C. Sometimes it's small. It depends on how thirsty I am that day. I get popcorn chicken. I get a cookie, and I get fries. That's my usual.
Not bad, not bad.
I just like chicken a lot. Popcorn chicken to be exact.
But, yeah, popcorn chicken is very nice. Especially with a barbecue sauce.
Well, I gotta get back to saying LCLC. 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 I'm at 26-26.
I think iPhone kind of ran away.
I think he got mad. I can add you to a group chat with him if you want.
I don't wanna have contact with him. He wouldn't last 5 minutes.
iPhone, if you type it in the next 5 seconds, I'll give you... Oh, he just typed. iPhone, I don't really care. Okay?
Yes, Adam. I am here, Adam. Yes.
LC. He does.
Adam wants to 1v1 me. I'll go easy on Adam.
Adam's nice.
The funny thing is, the first game, yeah, I died, but as soon as I learned how good he was, he just didn't stand a chance.
Listen,
So sad.
me and you, even though I didn't do anything the first game, we won.
Oh, if I had my entire crew, I wouldn't lose a single one.
Hey, I believe that. LC. Yeah. But, how much is your entire crew? I mean, like, who is it all? Is it Sonu, you, who else?
So Sonu kind of quit the game. It's just me, someone called Blob, someone called Mateo, and someone called Shock. We're all kind of broken in the game.
iPhone, he may have died the first round, but Yellow Team came out victorious. Even though I just walked around and did nothing, I still outlasted you. And I'm sticking by that.
Yeah, I died the first round because I didn't know how good you were.
LC.
Rampage, do you remember when we 1v4 Stampede?
Yeah, Stampede was just trash.
The first game, I kept dying because I was getting a handle of his skill. Then what happened? We won every other game. I need to learn people's skill before.
Yeah. LC. Whoa.
What?
That was loud. Roblox Philip just subscribed. Thank you. This stream's gotten 1,000 views. Wow. All I've been doing is putting myself through torture and it gets views.
Just wait till you hit 9,909.
If you donate and reset it, I'm just gonna go. It's gonna be like midnight, right? I'm just gonna go outside and then start punching the punching bag. Pow, 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 and then I'll just come back to my hell loop.
Oh, Adam's here.
Man, I mean, Rampage, you told him where I was in the second game.
Not really.
I said you were near your base. How does that tell? What's that got to do with anything? I mean,
Spicy.
if you want to do one more iPhone, and I won't even talk, I'll just run around and
I'm 1v1ing Adam right now. So.
after he's done with that, I won't even talk to you. I'll just run around and collect orbs, and I'll let Supreme destroy you.
I don't want to hurt his feelings.
Hold up, let me.
Sad hurting someone's feelings. What time is it? Oh, it's not even that late now. I do. I'm not that mean. Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't matter. He's fucked up in the head. He does.
Okay,
He doesn't deserve to go through emotional trauma.
Okay, he's accusing me of giving you iron in the games.
You gave me no iron. The only thing you offered to give me was a wizard staff, then you died. Oh no, Adam, you're about to die.
I'll be right back.
I... I'm sorry, but iPhone, you're just too bad. iPhone, you're just so bad, my bad. Let's search up man's YouTube channel, yeah? GG Adam, that was a good game. 1.59, he's growing.
Okay, I'm back.
I destroyed Adam, by the way.
Elsie, 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 Elsie. Elsie, 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 Elsie. Did you beat Adam? Supreme? Did you beat Adam?
What was that?
Did you beat Atom?
Do you underestimate me?
No, I'm just asking if it was over yet.
Yeah, I destroyed him in a minute and 30 seconds.
Do you want me to make a match for you and iPhone, and I just watch?
Why iPhone? He's so bad at the game.
Because he wants to. He's blaming
I'm
me.
literally just gonna let him break the bed. I'm just gonna jump off the edge.
We'll do that.
That's how sad he is.
Don't do that. That's unfair. Give him a good game.
But we beat him twice.
He says I told you where. He's telling me.
This is just like Stampede all over again.
He's accusing me of stuff that I didn't do, so I don't want him to accuse me, and that's the reason why I lost.
This is literally just Stampede all over again. Just constantly asking for a redo.
This is it, iPhone. No more excuse. No, I'm gonna collect the orbs. You don't tell me that I can't do anything. Why can't I collect orbs? I just won't talk to any of you. I'm just gonna collect orbs. I won't even be in your way.
Oh, that's G. I love being dyslexic. Fun life.
Yellow. I won't even have my sword out. Okay, iPhone?
What map are we doing?
I don't know.
Oh, this map.
I don't know how to tell.
This map's terrible. Just say this is farm map. Just say farm.
Farm.
Yellow. Oh, now he's wearing your merch.
That's me.
Oh no, that's Adam. Bro, Adam, why? What? Wait. No.
He just wants to watch. Nice merch, though.
My merch will look better than that.
I believe it.
Huh?
I said I believe it.
Yep. Because I'm pro.
Okay, iPhone.
Apparently he's in a game. He's just stalling. He's trying to find hacks.
Bro, I know.
I'm gonna do this when I beat him.
Even if he does use a script, do you think he can beat him?
Oh, I'd beat many hackers. It's just how you play.
iPhone says he's gonna win.
Has he downloaded hacks?
I'm almost done with my lunch, guys. It's taking me 3 hours to eat it because I keep taking breaks.
Oh, if he hacks, I'll just inject some hacks in.
You can't say that on my stream.
I can. What's gonna happen? I'm gonna be banned from Bed Wars.
I don't know.
Doesn't mean if I'm banned from Bed.
iPhone, you ready to get destroyed? Let me just get some for blocks. Okay.
I'm gonna play just very small.
I'm gonna play very dumb like I always do.
He's done an idiot move.
Okay, he says if you win, then you win.
What's he gonna
Imagine he just starts flying. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, I see what he's doing.
My stream's lagging
He's trying
out.
to be smart. He probably would start lying. Yeah, I see that. Just be careful. I died. Why is he destroying blue bed?
I don't know. Oh, a soul over there. I need that.
Go get it then.
Huh?
Go get it.
I'm going to get it. Dang it, I'm out of blocks. Okay, I got some iron. Now we gotta buy.
So he's going mid.
I know where he is. I can't really tell you, but I know where he is. Look at the stream.
Yeah, he's at mid. I can see him.
Oh, hello, Supreme. Hey, good job, Supreme. Is there any... There's a soul. How'd you get up there? Boop, boop. Okay.
He's gonna go take our bed.
I knew I have to become a tank. Let's go. If I win, we win. Hey yo, Supreme, did want to cut back to where he says if you win, you win, no rematch.
Yep.
Well,
Let's just cut back.
He fell.
Yes, because you ran out of blocks. You ran out of blocks. Bro, always watch your hotbar as you build.
No rematch.
Because lag always deletes blocks if you run out. That's real sad. He's lost it 3 times now. He said it would, and he said I'm a win. Like, bruh, imagine. I was getting ready to PvP. I had leather armor and an iron sword.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly you didn't, iPhone. Yes, iPhone. If you lag and place more blocks than you have, it glitches and deletes the blocks.
LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 okay, that's annoying. I gotta do it 7,000 more times.
Oh, that's just depressing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oh! Hey. Look what Adam said.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take this
Maybe
bowl.
he's just bad at the game.
I'm gonna take this bowl downstairs and then continue my hell loop, okay, guys? Supreme, talk to my stream, please.
Okay, I will speak to your stream. That's so sad, Brian. If you had a faster PC, you could have joined faster. Let's do doubles map. Sure, Adam. Just make a game real quick. Doubles. Oh no, I don't want to do Skype. T2. Let's do Sun Temple. My favorite map. I put the code in chat. Adam.
Did he convince you into doing another one, Supreme?
1v1ing Adam again.
How are you so good at Pet Simulator X, Supreme?
I just spend loads of money.
Did you hear what I bought?
Yeah, I was there watching.
Oh, yeah. Was it a good purchase in
might
your
buy it.
opinion?
Depends really. If you wait for the price to go up, then yeah.
People say it's only worth 50 million. Is that true?
How much?
50 million.
Oh, probably, but next update it'll go up. It'll just keep going up and up and up.
So it's only worth 50 million gems right now?
Probably. I haven't learned the prices of ones because you can't trade them yet.
What is the price of the last 5K one?
I don't know actually. I haven't really played this update, and I haven't learned the prices. Yeah, it'll go up to probably like 100, 150.
It's a tier 3, so... How's Galaxy Dragon? 1 billion then?
No, the only few exclusives over 1 billion are like the first one, the very first one.
Somebody trades their Asher for 25 bill.
Whoever they sold it to got scammed on the high.
And they added a Dominus Darkwing.
Oh, Dominus Darkwing is my favorite. I need one.
What do you want for Christmas, Supreme?
Nothing.
Are you sure?
Yep, I can buy all my own things for Christmas.
Okay.
I'm not poor.
Never said you were.
I'm big rich. Where is Adam? Is man hiding? Oh, he's over there.
LC, 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 LC. LC, 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 LC. Where'd it go? Okay, there we go. Ah! No! I almost dropped my water bottle.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Of course he has diamond armor. I swear he was using axolotl. Never mind.
There's axolotls? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yeah, axolotls.
What do axolotls do?
If you have the kit, they give you boosts like damage, break speed, regen, stuff like that.
If LCLC came to the stream, I'd reset the counter. The real one. Don't make a fake account.
Oh no, he's gonna break my bed. Yeah, thanks for that, bro. You just helped me. Because now I can go buy stuff. Thanks for your tier 1 gen. And I need just a few more. There we go.
Zomj just gave me a private server link.
Who?
Zomj. I have to join
Oh.
it.
Zombie. I think you should give me the link so I can go bully him.
Why do you want to bully Zomj?
Why not? Is that really a question?
I mean, I don't really know.
He's a good guy, but I just like bullying people. It's just fun.
I mean, what?
Only in game, not in person. I'm not that mean.
Somebody has an NFT in the server I'm in.
Huh?
Somebody has a golden Pegasus here.
Just imagine how much that cost him.
Like $1,000? I don't know. It's Zomj, I think. This guy has 20 huge Pegasuses?
Who?
Oh my god. Holy. Shrek's here too. So that guy must have spent at least like $10,000 on pets. I think it's Zomj, I'm not sure.
Why are you running at him?
Brother, look at this. No, I am still working on it. Zomj sent me a VIP link and told me to join. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15?
What's wrong with my guy?
He only has 48 pet power. Is it Zomj?
Why does he have... Ask him if he wants to give me one.
He has 15.
Yeah, I have none.
Hey, yo, Zomj. I'm kidding.
I found out what I want for Christmas.
Does Zomj dupe? He doesn't dupe. There's only 12 in the game. He bought them all. Look at all this.
That was a long game, Adam. That game took 9 minutes. Yeah,
Supreme, look at my stream.
I just closed it. Yeah. Shrek. What? I just see you say Shrek.
I'm not sussy, you donut. Look at all
Let me open pet sim.
my guy.
Join.
He has 50?
Oh, right. Can you send me the link? I think you should send me the link because I'm lonely.
No matter what. They aren't tradable. But they show in your inventory, right? I'm not sus, you donut. Don't ask why I say donuts.
Give link.
How's he only have 48 pet power?
Because I think they all count as one. Because I think they all have best friend.
I think this is Preston's friend. Or it's just
Maybe.
Zomsh. Because he sent us the link. Oh, it's,
Yeah, I would like the link.
it's Preston's best friend. Huh. Huh. Okay, Supreme, I'll get you the link. Give me a second. Let me ask.
Yeah, I'm lonely.
Okay. What? There. What the flip or flop? What? I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
What? Flipper flop?
I don't even know. I said, I don't know, bro.
What if it is Preston?
If it's Preston and I meet Preston and I get that rainbow pet, Preston, I'm a big fan if that's you. I don't know if I'm allowed to leak this link.
It's only me. I'm a popular YouTuber. Don't forget this.
I know you're a popular YouTuber. But it's a group chat with a lot of crazy, I mean not crazy, insane people. How do I
Yeah, I'm
describe?
insane.
Not like that.
I'm insane in every way.
Tofu's in here. Numerous. Zoms. No one knows who I am.
No one knows who you are, bro. No one knows who I am.
Stupid karma. What? There you go. I can join your bank.
Oh, you don't have access to my bank, do you?
Nope. You're in my bank though.
Yeah, I know. I got rid of some of my diamonds earlier.
When your sister's bank is richer than yours.
Let me invite you to my bank if I can. My bank settings.
When I upgrade it. Are you sure you
Send
did?
an invite. Yeah. Yeah, close it and reopen it.
My username is rampage_YYTT.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah.
Holy shoot.
It's 4 right now.
Can I equip Vlamenstein for an index real quick?
Sure.
Get it going there? Blob, where's Blob?
It'll be close to the bomb. Very close to the bomb.
Yep, I went in there. Do I have stack at? Nope. Can I use stack at real quick?
Sure. If I can borrow the Wicked Angels.
I mean, let me put my stuff back in there. Why is the Blob's name selling?
Because I bought it from someone. I bought all of my exclusives from someone near enough.
Adam wants to add you on Discord. Is that okay?
Sure. Did you put the blob back?
Yeah, I put the Blob back.
Huh?
I put the Blob back in.
It says 17 out of 18. 18.
I put it
Someone
back.
stole
It's
one
not. It's not in my inventory.
I think someone stole one of my exclusives.
I have no exclusives except my Wicked one.
Is it still in my inventory? Wait, don't tell me someone stole my Doge.
You had a Doge deal?
Oh no, it's still in my inventory. Good.
I'll add something to your bank.
Ooh.
I'm gonna give you something epic, okay?
Okay.
E- Epic gamer. Bam.
Stack Doge. You're really thinking about it.
I am, yeah. I trust you. I just have this. I have the voice in the back of my head, and my sister yelling at me, telling me not to do this. Cause I tried to do it earlier, with my other friend, and she started yelling at me. Bobby, you spent $50 on that, you idiot! Don't trade it away.
Everyone trusts me, so it's fine.
Pain and suffering. Ow. Okay. Here, I'm gonna give you this first. I already trust you, but I just want to double check it. I'm kidding. Okay, I deposited 1 pet in there. Now I'm gonna take it back out. Okay? I mean, you take it out and then put it back in, and then okay.
What hell is it? I can't even see it.
I put a Dark Matter Galaxy Fox.
Oh, it's right at the top. I'll with 291 with glittering agility.
Yeah.
Okay. How? It's my worst one.
The pop. Yeah.
Deposit. Galaxy. 91. See? Back in there. I'm very trusting.
If it ever loads.
My dog just farted. Not very nice.
Yeah, I do have 300k gems, but with 1 second, right? I can have 220. I'm kidding.
It really doesn't affect me. I'm just waiting for my interest. Collect interest. I got 220,000 diamonds from that.
You did?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, for 220 mil, I get 220,000.
Is yours maxed out or something?
No.
Huh.
No.
How high
I can
is
get more of
yours?
them, actually. Tier 3.
There you go. I deposited the Angelus.
Okay. Let me make sure it's in my index.
Did it go on then next?
Where's it? Huh? Bro, I hate the glitch where it just zooms everything out.
It's on the
Yeah,
bottom
yeah.
top row. Okay, okay, put it back, put it back.
Yeah, I will.
I don't know why I'm so nervous.
What the?
It has 87 billion stats.
85.
Oh, 85, sorry.
Yeah, it's back in there.
Thank you for not scamming me. I believed in you. I would have let you use my huge cat when I had it.
No. I already had one.
Oh, yeah. Is anyone in the stream besides you? Nope.
No, actually.
Should I restart it?
If you want.
Then people would say I faked the stream.
No, because if you just continue where you left off, then it doesn't look it.
Plus, I do have to shower.
Yeah, just say you went to shower and just had to end it.
Alright. Continuing stream in a little bit.